Hello there, should you buy an electric car? Now this might sound like a big daunting question, but don't worry, the information you need to answer is inside this box and I'm going to open it. Grab a pen. Welcome to CarSpyTV, where we discuss buying, driving, maintaining and selling cars because it's interesting. So, should you buy an electric car? Let's start by recapping the basics using a couple of toy cars as examples. Now this is vehicle A, and like the vast majority of cars in the world, it's exclusively powered by its internal combustion engine. It has no other power source. Furthermore, this engine is fueled by petrol, but for the purpose of this video, it could just as easily be diesel. In contrast, this is vehicle B, which is only powered by its electric motor. The motor is only fueled by electricity that is stored in a big battery. So, there's no internal combustion engine, it doesn't need petrol and it doesn't need diesel. This is a full electric car. Now vehicle A and vehicle B both have their respective pros and cons, and it's important to recognise such things when you're deciding whether to buy an electric car. Let's consider them in turn. Maximum range is a major factor when deciding whether to buy an electric car. Consider vehicle A that has the petrol engine, but remember it could just as easily be a diesel. Now let's say the car is brand new and it has a maximum range of 500 miles per tank. Now you could drive that car for the next 10 years and the next 100,000 miles, and assuming it's properly maintained, it will still have a maximum range of about 500 miles. In other words, the car's maximum range won't diminish significantly throughout its life. Now consider vehicle B with its electric motor. Even though it too is brand new, the maximum range between stops is far shorter than the petrol cars. You can realistically do about 150 miles per charge. However, time and mileage will take their toll on the battery. That means the 150 mile maximum range might fall to 125, then 100 and so on. Eventually, the range might diminish so much that the car's just no use. Sorry. There is a further point to consider if you're thinking of buying an electric car. Whatever make it is, the manufacturer will say that it covers a certain number of miles per charge, and it probably can. However, that is likely a best case scenario. As with a petrol or diesel car, your driving style, the weather and various other factors affect the maximum range. If you're thinking of buying an electric car, consider carefully whether it can realistically travel far enough to suit your lifestyle. Now consider refuelling. Vehicle A with its petrol engine that could just as easily be a diesel is supported by a vast global network of fuel stations. They're in every town. Furthermore, you could completely fill the tank from empty within a few minutes to restore the vehicle's maximum range of about 500 miles per tank. This process is quick, easy and convenient. I crashed into the wall. Vehicle B with its battery powered motor is more of a faff. For starters, you've got to find a working, available public charger, and that isn't always easy. Why? Because the country's infrastructure is in its infancy. It still needs to expand considerably and get easier to use. As of now, it can be tedious and temperamental on occasions. Your alternative is to have a private home charger installed or use any standard plug socket. Okay, don't hit the wall. Better. However you charge, you have to physically connect the car with a wire, then wait. How long you wait depends on what you connect to. Some, and I emphasise some, public chargers are very fast, whereas a standard home socket is very slow. Typically, a privately owned home charger is somewhere in between. So, it might only take an hour or so to completely fill your battery, but it might take 10, 15, or even 20 hours. Vehicle A with its petrol engine that could just as easily be a diesel burns fuel literally. There are thousands of explosions in the engine every minute. On this basis, emissions from the combustion process escape via the exhaust and pollute the atmosphere. Clearly, that pollution is bad for your health. Vehicle B with its electric motor is a very different beast. It doesn't burn fuel in the same way, so there are no emissions to escape through an exhaust pipe. In other words, it doesn't pollute at the point of use. However, the electricity that charges the battery has to come from somewhere. That somewhere might be a power station that burns fossil fuel. It might be a nuclear power station. Naturally, the electricity might come from a cleaner source, but the bottom line is there's no completely clean way to run a car. Running costs. Vehicle B with its electric motor costs less to run on a daily basis than Vehicle A. Electricity is cheaper than petrol and of course diesel. Furthermore, here in the United Kingdom we have to consider vehicle excise duty. That's the annual tax we pay to keep our cars on the road. Now, vehicle excise duty is a complicated subject, so we won't get too deep into it now. However, for the purpose of this video, there's one particular thing it's important to remember. The higher your vehicle's emissions, the more you typically pay. That's somewhat simplified, but you get the point. Furthermore, you have to pay a pollution charge to go into some cities if your car has high emissions. Vehicle B is exempt as there are no emissions at the point of use. However, any savings have to be offset against the high cost of buying the electric vehicle. So, should you buy an electric car? Every vehicle works well in some scenarios but struggles in others, so consider your lifestyle and expectations. If you want to crisscross the country, drive thousands of miles a month and know that you can quickly and conveniently refill your car anywhere, then Vehicle A with its petrol engine, that could just as easily be a diesel, is probably far more suitable than the electric car. However, Vehicle B might suit better if you live close to a pollution charge zone and or you rarely venture far from home. Perhaps you only drive a short distance to work. If so, the car's limited range isn't a problem. In addition, if you can have your own private charger fitted at home, you could eliminate any dependency on the public charge network. Why? Because you never go far enough away from home to have to rely on it. That is a major advantage considering its current state. If you can have your own private charger, it makes it a lot easier to live with an electric car. Consider this too. As we said earlier, the electric car's battery will deteriorate over time, so the maximum range per charge will fall. That doesn't particularly inspire me to buy one outright and keep it long term. However, there's less of an issue if you only keep the car short term. Perhaps, for example, you could lease it over 2 or 3 years. So, in summary, if you're thinking of buying an electric car, look at what it can realistically do, look at what it can't do, and consider whether it fits your lifestyle. This is your opportunity to have your say via the comment section of this video. So let me know, are you ready to buy an electric car or is it too soon? If you're not ready yet, what's holding you back? I'm interested in what you have to say. While you're commenting, don't forget to click like, that helps me out, and subscribe to the channel. Subscribing is free and it makes it easier to find my future videos. Right, that's all for now. I'm off to put petrol in my car.